Hey, welcome to my vlog. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how I created dot cards, swatch cards, paintings, doodles, drawings, the new art supplies that I bought, and just everything that I've been doing artistically over the past few weeks. One of the main things and one of the things that I'm most excited to share is the art rewards that I created for my Ko-fi members. I was determined to get everything sent out before I went on my travels, and I was also feeling very inspired by the time that we'd spent together and by this wonderful bouquet that I keep showing you. I've included lots of clips of it just in case you also want to sketch along or paint along or be inspired by it. Ko-fi is my art membership. It's my equivalent of a Patreon, and on there I share exclusive content. I chat with all the members on Discord. We share art, we share advice, we encourage each other. I share reference packs and so much more, and I will link it down below for you if you're interested. This painting was actually created inspired by the bouquet that I've been showing you, but also during a video paint party that we had on Ko-fi. I decided to send out Happy Mail as a bonus reward, and I wanted to do it differently, so I basically cast it up to a vote and asked people to decide, but this meant that I had a very narrow window between the votes coming in and actually fulfilling the orders to get everything sent out on time. So the results for my Happy Mail are in, and I'm surprised by the results. I wasn't sure which way it was going to go, but it turns out the winner is original paintings, which is really sweet and really nice because I thought all the options were really great, and I'm flattered that that's what won. So original paintings won, and I've already kind of started doing some of the paintings because I could see the numbers going up. So these are just some of the ones that I've decided to do. What I thought that I would do is actually use the Etcher postcards, you see, which are 100% cotton, to do some paintings. So then it's a mini painting, but then it's also like a postcard. I don't know, I just thought the idea was really sweet. So I've started doing that, and I need to finish that. And then I wasn't sure, so I asked people to kind of put first choice, second choice, just so that I could see the overall gist. And second choice is doodle sheets. So I'm going to try and create and print out some doodle sheets so that people can do their own swatches on. Just need to see how that will go in terms of with the printing and getting everything done, but fingers crossed it works out and then I can do it. So the designs that I was going to do were the ones that we kind of sketched together earlier. So I have some floral ones that I did already, leaf ones that I really like. But then I was also playing around with this idea, so creating an art-based one, which I think the idea is really cute. Some of the sketches are a bit rougher, so I don't know if I should do this one. But then again, I really like the leaves, so maybe this will be a future swatch card. So perhaps unsurprisingly, I decided to include both designs. I really like the versatility of the leaf doodles. I like how simple they are, and they kind of have a sophistication about them. But at the same time, I also find the art supply doodles very cute and very, I guess, relevant, especially because they are for swatch cards. But I wanted them to be neater than the ones that I had been doing in my sketchbook. And so I actually brought out my art supplies and sketched from life, still kind of keeping a very loose, cartoony feel to it, because the aim of these doodles and the aims of these drawings on my swatch cards is to just have a replacement for that black line, so that when you paint over them or you swatch over them or you color over them, you can see whether something is transparent or you can see whether something is opaque, semi-opaque, and just have a better idea of how this would work in your artwork. So they don't have to be 100% perfect, but I still like them to be cute. So this was a really good exercise, just drawing from life, which is something that I haven't really dedicated much time to recently. I think apart from urban sketching, so painting outdoors from life, I don't tend to draw still life. I don't tend to look at the bouquet and draw it, or look at my art supplies and draw it. So there was a lot of that in this vlog, and a lot of that over the past few weeks, but before that I hadn't done it. So this was quite refreshing and quite fun, and harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. I feel like drawing from life works slightly different muscles or different parts of the brain that, you know, I hadn't quite worked out for a while. I encourage you to try doing it as well. You know, sometimes we put a lot of pressure on finding the perfect thing to draw or the perfect reference, but sometimes it's something as simple as drawing a paint tube or drawing your ink bottle or your paintbrush. All these things still allow you to express yourself creatively. So just a little recommendation there. In terms of how I actually created the swatch cards, I used my iPad and an app called Procreate. I put everything onto one page, one A4 page, but I had a grid so that I knew everything would be spaced out equally. And then I transferred it onto my Mac and uploaded it onto Canva. And that was again an A4 document. And on there, I was just able to move each individual doodle or drawing as I saw fit. And the reason that I wanted everything to kind of be an individual element per se is just so that I would have the flexibility of being able to change around the dot cards and almost create a bank of doodles. And once all that was done, I then printed it using my brand new printer, which was kindly supported and sponsored by my Ko-fi members. Thank you so much. I love this printer because not only am I able to print A3, but I'm able to use water resistant ink, which makes it perfect for creating smudge proof swatch cards, and I will link it down below in the description in case you want something similar. And this is the final result. Honestly, I am so I am so happy with it. I just found it so cute, both designs, and I printed them on 300 GSM watercolor paper. And then surprisingly, watercolor dot cards came third, I want to say. So I don't, yeah, which I'm surprised by. Yeah, so I'm unsure. It's not that deep, but I'm unsure what to do about that in terms of the fact that there were some people that I wanted to send watercolor to specifically. So probably what I will do is create some watercolor dot cards for those people in particular, and then everybody else I will do as per first choice in terms of like mini painting for everybody, and then some people get dot cards. So I bought some new Michael Harding watercolors. I had been curious about them for ages, and to be honest, pride was the reason that I hadn't tried them out. But then I'd got so many questions about them, and I was kindly gifted some Michael Harding watercolors by an amazing subscriber that I caught the bug, and I wanted to explore some more of their colors, but also share some of the colors with someone that I knew wanted to try them, but they weren't available in the US at the time that I bought them. And I do believe that they are available in the USA now, and I will link it down below in the description for you in case you are interested. The first color that I got is lemon yellow, which is PY175, followed by quinacridone gold, which is PY150 and PR209. Then we have alizarin claret, which is PR177. We have quinacridone rose, which is PV19, belladonna, which is PV23, PR112 and PB29, deep purple or dioxazine purple, which is PV23, olive green, which is beautiful and is PR101, PY180 and PB153. Then we have hooker's green, which is PG36, PR101 and PY180. Caribbean turquoise, which I got specifically because I knew I was going to be traveling and I thought it would be the perfect color to paint some of the things that I was going to be seeing, and this is PB153 and PG7. Then we have indigo, which is PBK6, PB153 and PB19. Payne's grey, which is my favorite across most brands. So I had to get it in this one as well. That's PBK9, PB29 and PY42. And then last but not least, we have Moonlight, which is PG18, PB29 and PR177. If you're interested in seeing a more detailed video on these colors, my impressions and so much more, then please let me know down below in the comments and I will do that. I think initially I was quite focused on just trying to get the dot cards done and get the happy mail sorted. So I didn't really delve into exploring the paints or experimenting with them as much as I would have done otherwise. My first impressions were that initially they were really beautiful and very vibrant. Did find that there was quite a bit of a drying shift. As I say, this is like literally first impressions based on swatches, but once I have painted with them a bit more and tried them out a bit more, I'll be able to give a bit of a better insight into what I actually think about them and whether I think that they are worth the money or not. But for now, I'm just super excited to be able to share them. As part of the happy mail, I also asked if anyone wanted like hand swatches of any particular colors or anything that they'd perhaps seen on a video, wanted to get a closer look at. And someone asked for a swatch card or swatch sheet of my travel palette, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm swatching out my Roman Szmal urban sketching palette plus some of the colors that I have added on top as well. Though the caveat being that I tend to change my travel palettes quite often, so it's not a perfect replica of what I'll be using with every trip, but at the moment as of April 2023, this is what I'm using. And then as an extra bonus happy mail, I also included this art print that is of a painting that I created during my 10-hour challenge, which I did, and I will link the video for you down below if you haven't seen it already. And then I packaged everything together, ensuring that everyone had their first choice at the very least, as well as swatch cards if that's what they wanted. And honestly, I am so impressed that I got this done in the time frame that I did, because I left everything to the very last minute, and I think turnaround time was 48 hours to do all the paintings, all the swatch cards, all the dot cards, all the writing, everything, and get that sent off. So I'm super glad that that has been done. Part of the reason for the cloak and dagger was because people had said that they wanted a surprise, but I feel like now that most people have received it, it is safe to actually release the video of everything being put together. So one of my friends very kindly gifted me some flowers, and they are starting to get old, but that being said, they are still beautiful. So what I wanted to do today was something that I haven't done. I can't even remember if I have done or when I last did it, and that's basically to just look at the flowers, look at the bouquet and try to draw them. Just do a few like sketches and try to add to the mental bank of flowers that I have, if that makes sense. Not necessarily painting the bouquet itself, but looking at the colors, looking at the shapes and seeing what I can create from there. I did something similar in my paint party with my Kopi members, and I had such a good time, and it was fun. So I wanted to try that again, especially because I only took certain components when doing that painting. So there's just so much more that I can do with these flowers while they are still good. Try and see if there are like new shapes that I can experiment with, and I want to do it first as like drawings, and hope is that with time that will also kind of translate to my paintings. Honestly, drawing from observation was harder than I thought it was going to be, especially because I draw or paint flowers all the time, and I was looking at flowers, so I thought it was going to be pretty straightforward. But there's something different between drawing what you think you see or what you think you know versus what you're actually seeing and actually observing, especially when it comes to something that's organic, I feel, so something that's in nature, which isn't, symmetrical, and it isn't always the way that you think it's going to be. So it was a lot of fun. As well as that, I've also been using my Lamy fountain pen a lot more to add line work, whereas usually I use fine liners such as Unipin, and I'm really enjoying that because I feel like my drawings have more character when I use a fountain pen. I can't quite explain it. I think it's because there's like a different variation in the the line width as I'm drawing, but also the way that I'm drawing. The whole thing just feels very enjoyable. So I've been using carbon ink, which is water resistant ink. So once it's dry, I'm able to paint over it, should I wish to paint after I draw. And yeah, really been enjoying it. So much so that I actually decided to take it with me on holiday, because I want to be able to continue to explore that and create using that. But my gosh, the idea of flying with a fountain pen is a lot. So I'll keep you posted on how that goes. But for now, this is me just sketching and drawing and looking at the flowers and recreating them. For the most part, I was good, I feel, at drawing what I was seeing. But then there were some other bits where I'd know that what I was going to draw isn't actually what I saw, but it just made the drawing more pleasing to my eyes. Does that make sense? Like, you know, add a petal here or there to just make everything look nice and the way that I want to look at it. But at least it was a conscious decision. Whereas when I first started, I didn't even know I was doing that. I was just not drawing what I was looking at all. As I was doing this, I was also watching Natasha Newton's video. She did this wonderful, relaxing swatching video highlighting her new palette for 2023, and it had 47 colors. I don't know why not 48, but it was just really nice to watch. I always find it so intriguing looking at the palettes that other artists have curated. I feel like you can always learn something from them. There might be a mixture that I haven't thought of before, or colors that I hadn't thought of using before, or different ways of using them. And just as a whole, it's just incredibly interesting to look at. But I especially love Natasha Newton's swatching videos, because on top of all that, they are also very relaxing and very calming and have a very nice vibe about them. A super special thank you to all my Ko-fi members. I really appreciate you all. I love the community that we are building. I love logging onto Discord and seeing all the conversations going there and seeing your art. And honestly, through this group, I feel very much inspired to create. So thank you. I really appreciate you. If you are still watching, then you are most definitely a real MVP, and I really appreciate you too. Let me know that you're still watching by telling me what you would have wanted as Happy Mail, or what you think is a great Happy Mail idea for watercolor, gouache, art supply, art lovers amongst us. If you enjoyed this video, then you will definitely love this series of next ones, where I share the art that I've created, sketchbook tours, art vlogs, and more. And if you're interested in becoming a Ko-fi member, I will leave the link down below in the description, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.